Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Listen, as a hiring manager, I've got to tell you, the best job candidate isn't always the typical candidate. Sometimes they're a grad of life.
Meet the grads of life. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Sometimes the best candidates aren't the ones you're used to.
Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Secrets of Success. I'm your host, Bill Horan, and today we're speaking with Susan Shumsky, author of Miracle Prayer. Susan, you suggest in your book that we should ask ourselves, what would we do if we had unlimited resources? And we should write this down. Why should we do that?
I call this the unlimited thinking exercise. It's a great exercise for everyone to do, for all of you to do. So what you just do is you just take a piece of paper and you just let your imagination run wild. You just write down on this piece of paper what you would do if you had unlimited money, unlimited time, unlimited courage, unlimited health, unlimited wealth, unlimited helpers. If there was nothing standing in your way, in other words, what would you do day by day? Don't write down how you would spend your money or what toys you would buy. Write down what you would do every day when you get out of bed, what your days would be like, what you would focus on.
What does that tell us? How does that help us?
Okay, so once you've written all this, you're going to be startled when you read it back and you realize that these are truly your true heart's desires. The things you've written are the things that you really want to achieve in this lifetime, but you think you can't. In other words, there's all kinds of excuses and blockages and beliefs and habits and just downright BS, meaning belief systems, that are preventing you from actually achieving what's on this piece of paper. If you would just take one of the things that's on this piece of paper and start to take some baby steps in that direction, you'll find that your life is going to change in a really positive way, and you'll begin to really fulfill your desires and fulfill your destiny. It's a very, very powerful document.
Susan, to what you say, and I'm not saying this just to support you, but I've always found, and I find it 4 or 5 times a week now, if I start the day taking baby steps towards some goal, even if it's things I don't want to do, or sometimes it's just an accumulation of paperwork, just starting the baby steps, things start going very quickly, and it's almost like rolling a ball down a hill. It starts out slowly, but it picks up some momentum, and before you know it, it's zooming down the hill. And I started that this morning, and what I thought was going to take hours took about 20 minutes. I got several things accomplished, and it was just one example, and I was thinking of it in light of your book, how once you get those things going, it surprises you. You think it'll take forever. It won't work. The person won't answer the phone. They won't agree with you, but it does work, and it works out. Now, something else you say, and I think having you say it as an expert is important. You mentioned that everyone who takes a risk, whatever that might be, I guess, going to school, trying a new career, changing jobs in the career you're in, we're always afraid at first, correct?
Absolutely. People think that, famous people, movie stars, the politicians, all these people, that they're so courageous, or war heroes, for example, that they're all just so courageous and so amazing, and we're not like that. We have all kinds of fear and trepidations. We have all kinds of negative thoughts and ideas about ourselves that are holding us back. The truth is, everybody has these challenges, no matter where they start, they're all starting from, point zero. They're starting at zero. And then they have to just take a little baby step and go in the direction. In other words, feel the fear, but do it anyway. Even if you're terrified, if you know that it's the direction that's wise for you to go in, just leap before you look. Just take the leap of faith and know that you will be supported by Almighty Nature if you're willing to simply take some steps in the direction. Just as Bill said, get up in the morning and just make a goal and then just start the little baby steps in that direction, and you'll be amazed at how far you can travel. So I would just recommend everyone to realize that you're not the only one who's terrified. You're not the only one who's afraid. We all are. But some of us are just willing to take that leap anyway. We're just willing to try it anyway, even if we're scared. Just do it anyway.
Now, Susan, one of the things I'd like our audience to know, if they're hearing this and they're saying, I want to know more about it or get hold of the book, Susan's book, and our guest is Susan Shumsky, spelled Shumsky. Her book is Miracle Prayer, and you hear some of her ideas and what she's saying today. You can put this into your life and start making changes as quick as tomorrow. She's going to tell you where we can get the book and the website.
Okay, so the best place to get any of my books, is on Amazon.com because it's least expensive and you can get it really quickly. So I just tell people, go to Amazon. But you can also go on my website, which is drsusan.org, drsusan.org, and my books are available there as well.
And if you're tired of your life as it is, and that's why you're listening to our show, The Secrets of Success, do yourself a favor. You have to take that first step. Get hold of the book. If you don't want to buy it, go to a library. Get an audio version if you don't want to read it. But find out the topics, replay the show, hear what Susan is saying, and give it some thought. Try some of the exercises she speaks about. Now, Susan, in your book, you talk about the conscious and the subconscious mind, and that really has a big role in our lives. Can you tell us about it?
It has a huge role in our lives because we may consciously want something. We might want to achieve something. For example, maybe we're looking for a partner to get married. And yet our subconscious mind, which is basically made up of our beliefs, habits, conditioning, ideas, what we've been brainwashed to believe from our families, from our peers, from society, from the media. We're just bombarded with all kinds of messages all the time telling us what we're supposed to believe. And if we buy into these beliefs, if we buy into our own past fears and our own past problems and dwell on our own blockages from the past and that sort of thing, then it's very difficult for us to make changes in our life. In other words, we're just stuck in the past, so to speak. So consciously we may want something, but subconsciously we're creating something else. Because what is ruling the roost is not the conscious mind, it's the subconscious mind that is creating our destiny and our reality. So our subconscious mind is what we really believe, and our conscious mind is what we wish we believed.
And Susan, no, I was just going to say I spent my career as an attorney, and I saw this so many times with people. It was almost shocking. An attorney could be arguing for something for an hour, and yet if you listen closely, he or she would give away that they really didn't want that, and it might sound funny, they didn't expect to win the case, or they didn't expect to achieve what they want, and you say, wait, that doesn't make sense, etc. But honestly, I could pick that up from them. You could pick it up from their body language, even a few subtle words. If you listen closely, that subconscious mind was coming out and saying, we're saying one thing, but that's not really what we think we're going to achieve. We're not good enough to get $1 million, so we'll just take 600,000 or 400, or, some other number. So no,
exactly.
I'm just backing up what you're saying and affirming it. We see that all the time in the world, and basically, and you say this in your book, we actually subconsciously request rewards or punishment.
Exactly.
And that seems amazing.
We have the need for punishment, and we have the need for reward. And it's all based upon past experiences and past patterns that we have bought into and that we've created through our own, what I call mental laws that we've created for our life by which we operate. And if great success doesn't fit into those mental laws, then we're not creating the great success. So we have to change those laws. We have to change our beliefs in our subconscious mind so that we can achieve what our true heart's desires are.
I actually just had a very good trial attorney call me this morning, and she was about to go into court, and she said, I'm nervous today. I said, well, if you're nervous, think of your opponent. He's up against you. And I happen to know she's an excellent attorney. But even though being experienced and an excellent attorney and an expert on what she's doing, she was nervous. We're all nervous. She's
Absolutely.
Going out and doing something, and she needed that. And in fact, having prepared for this show, I said to her, what you need is a few affirmations. So I sent her about 6 affirmations on a text, and I said, just say these a few times. And I know in her heart, she was probably laughing at me, but I said, it really does work. So here we have an attorney who's handling a trial, who is doing this. So for the average person who's listening to this at home, don't be ashamed to try a few affirmations. If they work, if some of the ideas you're getting from Susan throughout the show, in her book, Miracle Prayer, they do work. People do use them, and I know experts who have told me, and we've had 1,500 of them on over the years, before they do a presentation, they actually stand in the restroom and they do the affirmations, and they want to overcome that background that might say, I can't do this. I'm not a great speaker. I'm afraid to speak. And yet then they'll go out and talk to hundreds or thousands of people.
Exactly. And if you'd like, I could teach an affirmation right now that can be very helpful.
If you can do it in 10 seconds, because we're just about running out of our time. Can you do it in 10 to 15 seconds?
I am in control. I am the only authority in my life. I am divinely protected by the light of my being. I close off my aura and body of light to the lower astral levels of mind, and I open to the spiritual world. And so it is.
And you did. You made it in 15 seconds. Susan, we want to thank you so much. Once again, please tell our audience before we wrap up, the book is Miracle Prayer. It's by our guest, Susan Shumsky, Shumsky. Would you give us the website and where we can get it?
drsusan.org is the website, and Amazon.com is a great place to purchase the book, Miracle Prayer.
Thanks so much, Susan. Thanks for being with us and giving us such good advice. We'd like to let our audience know that you've been listening to The Secrets of Success on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Bill Horan, asking you to please join us again next week at this same time when we will continue our journey to success.